Uh, So children, we were in the previous class, we had done the methods of soil conservation, right? Few topics I had already explained to you all. We will just revise that before we go on to the next topic. So in the previous class, we saw the methods of soil conservation. Number one was afforestation. What do we mean by afforestation? Let's revise quickly. What's
Afforestation is the opposite of deforestation, which means that if deforestation means cutting down of trees, afforestation means growing of trees.
Very good, very good. So this is one method. Number two, the second method is crop rotation. What do we mean by crop rotation?
Crop rotation means that different crops are grown in turn so that the soil, ma'am, the minerals in the soil don't get exhausted.
Very good, very good.
And ma'am, they do not reduce the fertility.
They do not reduce the fertility. So a crop rotation means here the farmer makes sure that those crops are grown based on different turns. Okay, not one crop is grown throughout the year. Why? So if the farmer uses different crops throughout the year, then what happens is it will maintain the fertility of the soil, correct, and it will prevent soil erosion. Next, the third method which we saw for the soil conservation was controlling overgrazing. What have we learned from this controlling overgrazing?
Ma'am, the cattle and all that, when they graze on the line, on the land, now the soil is no longer held together by the roots of grasses because they pull it, for
Very good.
eating. So,
Very
ma'am, that's
good.
why cats should not be allowed to graze anywhere and everywhere.
Very good. Very good. Very nice. So you remember it perfectly. So this was the third point. Now the fourth method which we did for conserving soil conservation was counter plowing. What do we mean by counter plowing? Who can tell me? What do we understand?
Plowing the farmland on the slope side of the hilly area.
Hilly areas.
So
Why?
that the soil does not go, I'm rolling down, it does not go
Yes.
down like
To reduce soil erosion. Okay, because if we do that, we will indirectly reduce soil erosion. Clear?
that.
Yes.
Ma'am.
After
Yes, ma'am.
that, the next method which we did for soil conservation was terrace farming. You remember we discussed this in the previous class and then we stopped since it was time out. What did we learn from terrace farming? Who can tell me? In the previous class?
Ma'am, in terrace farming, no, ma'am, since, ma'am, there are like vertical steps are cut into the grass, ma'am,
Hillside.
it
Yes.
breaks the flow of water down the slopes and prevents soil from being washed by the
Washed
water.
away by the water. So see, can you see there's a picture given? Can you see the image, children?
Yes, ma'am.
The image. Okay, so in this type of farming, vertical steps are cut into the hilly side. Can you see vertical steps have been cut in the hilly region? The
Yes,
hilly
ma'am.
Yes. And why they do this? They do this because this breaks the flow of water down a slope and prevents soil from being washed away by the water. Okay, so because of this, what happens is the soil gets prevented by being washed away from the water. That's the reason. This is one of the method which they use so that they preserve the soil, okay, and avoid soil erosion. Now,
Ma'am, I have been to a lot of these farms, ma'am.
you had seen them.
Yes, ma'am, a lot of them.
How was your experience, Mariam?
Ma'am, very pleasant, ma'am.
Very pleasant, isn't it? It looks very beautiful, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, ma'am.
When you see that, the how it is cut down vertically, right? The steps.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic is shelter belts. Thick rows of trees are planted at the edge of the fields to prevent the soil being washed away by water or by wind. The roots of the trees prevent soil erosion by water, while the tall trees act as wind bearers. If you must have seen, if there are any fields or any farm, if you have seen it very carefully, around the edge of the field, what they do, they plant thick trees. So why they do that? They do that so that first of all, it can help the soil erosion. and it can avoid, we can avoid soil erosion, and it can also help the small planters to grow perfectly without any disturbance of the wind. So it also acts as a bearers of the wind, for a barrier for the wind, and it also helps in soil erosion.
Ma'am, so the name only describes it. It is like a shelter.
It is sheltering. Okay, that it is sheltering by whom? By winds. It is becoming a barriers for the winds, and it is also helping the soil erosion. It is also preventing soil erosion. Okay, can you see the image, children? Shelter belt. In coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect the soil cover. So, see, how do we come to know if the wind direction of the wind because of the trees? How we can understand?
Ma'am, because if the wind blows, ma'am, the leaves on the trees also blow
So
with
it
it.
shows you the direction, that this direction the wind blows, right? The
Yes.
movement of the wind.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Ma'am,
Okay,
this
so
is really helpful because we are also planting trees and doing afforestation, plus we are preventing soil erosion.
yes, so this should be, all these methods should be implemented, we know that these are all the methods, but it is not being implemented. Just a second. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, so have you understood about shelter belts, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
All right, let's go on to the next topic. That is bunds. Okay, bunds are ridges of earth between fields that prevent flood water from washing away the soil. Can you see? If you will see, it is there. It is visible even in the most of the fields. If you'll see the fields there, most of the farmers do this. What they do, they tie bunds. Okay, why do you do that? So that if it would prevent flood waters from washing away the soil. Can you see the image how it is done?
Yes,
See the image?
yes.
Can you
Yes,
make out?
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is how this is one of my method through which they can prevent soil erosion. All right, and we can clear, understood till your children. The second point,
Yes,
shelter
ma'am.
belts, bunds. Now let's see what's next. That's it. So these are all the methods of soil conservation. How many are there total? Number one, let's revise quickly.
Ma'am, number one, afforestation.
Very good. Number two,
Crop
Crop rotation.
rotation.
three,
Controlling overgazing.
very good. Number four,
Counter plowing.
number five,
Terrace farming.
Farming.
number six,
Shelter belts.
and number seven.
Bunds.
Okay, so please refer to these and remember this particular answer along with the headings. You might definitely get a question, okay? Explain the methods of soil conservation, all right? And if it is, you will always see how many marks that particular question is carrying. If it is for 7 marks, you'll have to write all these 7 points along with the subheadings in your exams. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And if it is for 4 marks, you can choose any 4 out of these 7, and you have to write along with the headings and explain also all the 4 pointers, whichever you all are choosing. Clear? So based upon the marks the question carries, you have to write down the answers. But make sure that you all learn and you all by heart all the 7 methods. Clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's do the question answers. We are done with the chapter. One more thing I kept on telling you all again and again. See, if you will see after every session, there are meanings given, glossaries given, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please do not ignore that. Okay, these glossary for the entire chapter, not just for this session. Okay, please by heart the glossary. You might get an objective question from there as well,
Ma'am, like a definition also,
like
no?
a definition, any objective. They can ask you in the form of a fill in the blanks, or in the form of a definition, or in the form of a true or false, or match the following. In any objective form, it would be asked. Okay, so please just revise that as well. Okay, you can mark it on your put a tick to it and write important, so that you know that okay, we have to learn the glossaries also. Okay, but see children, this is a very important chapter. You might get maximum questions from this chapter in your exams. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Okay, what are the different layers of soil?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, yes, Mariam.
Ma'am, topsoil, subsoil, parent material, and bedrock.
Very good. So you have given me 4 different layers, right? But you need to even explain in your exams, right? If at all this
Yes,
question
ma'am.
is asked for 5 marks, right? So you will have to explain all these pointers with the subheadings which you give, right?
Yes. Ma'am, I forgot one more, ma'am.
Which one you forgot?
Ma'am, surface layers, ma'am. Ma'am, they haven't given the definition, but in the diagram it is showing there.
It is there. So that's why I told you, now for 5 months, if it is asked, you have to mention all the entire points. Clear? Everyone else clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is preparing a soil profile. This is very important. We are going to do the activity on this. The whole, all grade 7 students, all divisions are doing this. So we as grade 7E student will also do this. I remember I had explained to you about this earlier as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are just going to revise once again. And I remember telling you all, once I explain to you all soil profile, then you all can do it. So now it is already explained to you all, right? So I
Yes,
hope you all
ma'am.
have already started doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
Please. So today is what? Friday. Friday, right? So hopefully, you know, Monday or Tuesday, I'll conduct an activity based upon this. But so what
Okay, ma'am.
for that, you know, you'll have to do it today itself. Then only it will be ready by Monday or Tuesday. Okay, clear? So number 1 is materials. What materials you'll require?
Ma'am, a plastic bottle and different
Transparent
color
one.
grains and all.
Yeah, transparent one. Transparent. Remember that. The plastic bottle should be transparent so that whatever you all are doing, it should be visible. Then different grains, either pulses or lentils. Then paper labels where you're going to just label it. All right. Now, what is the method? What you all are going to do? Select the lentil, grain, or pulse you would like to represent the particles of each layer of soil. Consider the color and size. Then what you have to do? Pour those that represent the bedrock first. Subsequently, pour other grain in the bottle to make them appear as a definite layers. Have you seen in the diagram? The layers are very visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So similarly, you all have to do it, okay, as an activity. So whenever you all are doing it, so make sure that the layer should be visible, clearly visible. All right. Third step, outside, label each layer and attach the label with the help of the adhesive. This is very easy. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very easy, very interesting also. So you and let's see who comes up with something out of the box. Okay, so refer to the diagram when you all are doing this. So how much time will you require for this activity, children?
Ma'am, Monday.
10 minutes.
Okay. Okay, fine. So we will either consider Monday or Tuesday then. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But see, you will require time only to collect the materials. Once you have all the material, it won't take a lot of time. Okay. And all these materials are also easily available at home, isn't it? Grains.
Materials,
Yes, ma'am.
the grains that we put, it has to grow.
No. You over here, you just need to show the soil profile. Can you just scroll down to show them the soil profile picture, image of a soil profile? Yes, Mariam, can you just explain what you have understood? Let's see.
Ma'am, in the diagram.
No, in this activity, what exactly we are doing? Let's see if you've understood.
Ma'am, in this diagram, ma'am, in this project, ma'am, we are basically, we are representing the different layers of soil using the grains and all that which we have. And each grain should represent each layer of the soil. And then we need to attach the labels. Like if the bedrock, we need to attach a label on that this is the bedrock. And then we have to talk about each layers, ma'am.
Very good. Understood, Joshua, now what we are doing? And that's the reason. So just for the sake that all these layers should be visible to us clearly, we are using a transparent plastic bottle. All right. And so that with each layer, you all can put a label. How many layers are you all going to make total? Number one, let's start from the bottom. Number one,
Bedrock.
very good. Number two,
Parent material.
very good. Parent material will be the second layer. Okay, children. Third
Okay.
layer,
Subsoil.
very good. Fourth layer,
Topsoil.
very good. Fifth,
The surface layer.
clear, understood?
Ma'am, if we want, we can add the grass also, no, ma'am?
If you want, you can make it, you can use your creativity. You can do some innovative things also. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
you are all free to do and to use your creativity or innovative methods. Okay, let's see who comes up with something out of the box.
We would use the plastic bottle only.
Sorry, yes, Joshua.
The plastic bottle only, or we can just do something else. But
It should be transparent.
Yeah, that's what even I was about to say. If you're comfortable with any other thing apart from plastic bottle, you just need to make sure that it should be transparent. Okay, so that the layers should be visible to us. And why plastic bottle? Because it won't take a lot of material, right? Otherwise, if you use something else apart from that, then you'll have to use a lot of material to show those layers. Yes.
And besides, ma'am, in our home, ma'am, we only have the transparent glasses. That's one.
Okay. No. You can use if you plastic bottle is transparent. Plastic bottle is not available. You can use any other thing, but just make sure whatever you all are using, it should be transparent. So the layers should be visible to us. All right, Joshua.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Everybody understood the activity?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions related to the activity, children?
No, ma'am.
No questions? Okay. So then we'll continue with the discussion. Next question. Which method of soil conservation is suitable for number one, sheet erosion? Now we have seen different methods of soil conservation. Now
Yes.
you'll have to tell me out of all those methods, which method will be suitable? Yes, Mariam.
Ma'am, for sheet erosion, ma'am, first, ma'am, sheet erosion is basically protect when the water comes, ma'am. So, ma'am, for protecting against that, ma'am, we can use terrace farming, because terrace farming is also for protection from water. And, ma'am, we can use crop rotation, ma'am. These two.
Okay, good, very good. But you need to even explain what exactly do you mean by terrace farming. So you just don't give the method name of the method, but even explain. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Got it?
Yes,
Next is gully erosion. We had studied about this erosion.
Yes.
How are we going? Which method are we?
Ma'am, in gully erosion, happens when, ma'am, in generally areas of uneven land, ma'am.
Yes.
So we can use counter plowing, ma'am, because counter plowing is also used in uneven lands.
Uneven land. And what are we doing in counter plowing? What exactly we are doing in counter plowing?
Ma'am, in counter plowing, ma'am, we are plowing the plants, ma'am, on the slopey area so that the water does not go.
So that is slopey area, that is not uneven, isn't it?
Okay, ma'am.
Find out which method would be more suitable for it. Uneven one.
Ma'am, I think so. Afforestation.
Okay, you according to you, it would be afforestation that you.
Yes, ma'am. Since they are also like grown over a large barrel.
Okay, that's acceptable. Fine. Next is the lithosphere has several resources that include varieties of rocks, minerals, fuels, and soil. Question 1 is, which is the most valuable resource of the lithosphere? You remember we had done lithosphere,
Yes, ma'am.
hydrosphere, biosphere.
Yes, ma'am.
So out of that, see, now you have to tell me which is the most valuable resource of.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, according to me, ma'am, fuels and minerals are the most valuable, ma'am, because fuels and minerals take a lot of time. They take millions of years to form, ma'am.
Okay.
That's why I think it is most.
What about others? Valuable. Anybody else with your opinion? Yes, Shlok, would you like to try?
No, ma'am.
I'm the only one answering today.
Yes, very good. Keep it up. All right. Next is, which among these do we need to focus do we need to focus our conservation methods the most on? Explain your views for both the above answers. See, this is an application based question. So where it is asking, where you have to give your opinion, but when you're giving your opinion, you also need to justify why you think like that. All right. So now among all those methods which we had just studied of soil conservation, which one do you think that we need to focus on the most? Yes. Am
Ma'am,
I
like from rocks, minerals, fuels, and soil they are
no,
asking, no?
From the conservation of soil resources, from that.
Oh, okay, from that.
Mhm. Or else you can also refer to the above. That is, you can also refer to the lithosphere paragraph, right? And you can refer to the rocks, materials, fuels, and soil. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think, ma'am, we need to focus our conservation efforts the most on fuels and minerals, ma'am, because, ma'am, rocks and soil, ma'am, they are like very easily available. You'll find them everywhere. But minerals
Okay.
and fuels are something that take a lot of time to make and are not available in every area
Oh,
on Earth.
And ma'am,
okay.
for methods of soil conservation, ma'am, I think so. Afforestation, ma'am, we should focus our conservation for that, ma'am, since if trees are like they are cut down, and ma'am, if they are not grown, then it would lead to deforestation and soil erosion.
Very good.
Ma'am,
Very good.
also afforestation is something that everybody can do. Because for the others, only the farmers can do. But afforestation, every person can do, even if they are not a
Correct.
farmer.
Correct. Very good. That's true. Anybody can, can be involved in this, right? This activity. And one more thing, I just wanted to, Mariam, you can include one more point, as you said, minerals and fuels. So I wanted to ask you whether minerals and fuels are renewable or non-renewable?
They are
They're
non-renewable.
Non-renewable.
So
Non-renewable.
you can mention this point also in your answer.
Okay,
Got
ma'am.
it? That's the reason for justifying your answer, why you think it should be mineral and fuel. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can you scroll down? Okay.
So
We are done with the chapter.
We are done with the chapter? Okay. All right. So we'll stop here.